Nigerian Labour Congress defies security threat stages peaceful protest nationwide. Good evening, you are welcome to NTA Ijebu News at 7. I am Titi Lanke. Here's what's staying to details. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has appealed to protesting workers in the state to be patient with the government as efforts are intensified to reduce the hardship as a result of the global economic downturn. This was at the Nigerian Labour Congress protest, coming on the heels of the youth protest a week ago in Ibadan. Grace Ayonleke was there and now reports. President Bola Tinubu launched the Expatriate Employment Levy, EEL, a new scheme targeting more employment opportunities for Nigerians and more revenue for the government. The president also unveiled the handbook for the scheme, which under the Ministry of Interior. State House correspondent Musbaudan Wahab reports.
The Expatriate Employment Levy, EEL, a scheme mandating employers to hire expatriate workers to make financial contribution to the nation, got the approval of the Federal Executive Council at the twilight of the immediate past administration. But for the Renewed Hope administration, any stream of progressive initiative is welcomed and means to give new hope to Nigerians. The Interior Ministry has picked up the project, cleaned it up, and ready to make contributions to the administration's plan to generate job opportunities and revenue to finance growth and development of the country. In its core targets, the scheme is also to ensure knowledge and technology transfer from expatriate workers to Nigerians.
The main essence is to be sure that if you are bringing an expatriate to work in Nigeria, it should be a job that no Nigerian has the skill to do. Balancing of employment opportunities between Nigerians and expatriates. Or of course, closing wage gaps between expatriates and the Nigerian labor force by making it more attractive to hire Nigerians. Besides the revenue that we accrue, I believe the minister, having thought through this, will ensure that if somebody must remain in Nigeria for 10 years, he can't have any excuse not to be able to train a Nigerian to take over that job. Nigeria jobs for Nigeria, that should be the slogan.
President Bola Tinubu considers this scheme as another game changer from the stable of Ministry of the Interior to renew the hope of Nigerians.
We are glad that good effort is being made to retool, re-engineer the finances of the country and make growth our hallmark. I've been further assured that the project has the capacity of plugging loopholes and gaps that have been dealt the country in dealing with security challenges.
But the benefits notwithstanding, for the government still beckoning on foreign direct investments, this scheme must not come as a cross-purpose.
But don't use it as a bottleneck. Don't use to frustrate potential investors of this program.
And the handbooks to guide this process are now ready with the Nigerian Immigration Service as the implementing agency. From the State House, Musbau and Wahab, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu is urging energy experts converging in Abuja for the 7th edition of the Nigerian International Energy Summit to leverage the platform for robust engagements that will reposition the oil and gas. It is emphatic that decisions made by the summit will make or mar energy security for decades to come. Lydia Sampson reports.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who stood in for the president, says the theme is apt and in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu aimed at shaping the energy landscape towards greater profitability.
As we stand at the crossroads of the 21st century, it is imperative that we reevaluate our energy policies to ensure a sustainable and secure future. The decision to remove petroleum subsidy is a challenging one, but it's a step that we must all take to secure our energy future and foster economic growth and development.
OPEC Secretary General Haitham Al-Faiz revealed that OPEC anticipates a bright future for Africa's oil industry with substantial opportunities for growth.
Nigeria's role in OPEC's past and present is a tremendous source of pride. But we are also acutely conscious of Nigeria and Africa's critical role in the future of our organization and the energy industry more broadly.
For both the Ministers of State Resources, Oil and that of Gas, with their enormous potentials, it is time to walk the talk, making these visible potentials translate to wealth.
Nigeria suffers from energy poverty, despite the fact that we have abundance of, oil and gas reserves. And I've always contended in anywhere I go that this abundance of reserves haven't translated to economic prosperity.
The gas industry with abundant proven reserve of more than 208 trillion cubic feet and further exploration potentials is crucial for enhancing energy security. With the proven reserves, Nigeria has no business with energy poverty.
Key industry players are optimistic that with commitment and collaboration, the vast opportunities in changing energy mix can be a win-win.
As we all know, and it's clearly so, there's a very clear connection between energy security and national security anywhere in the world.
This gathering is on the place of proactively navigating the new energy world together towards realizing a sustainable energy security and energy mix that is just for all. In Abuja, Media Samson, NTA News.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank has further tightened its monetary policy rate by 400 basis points from 18.75% to 22.75% to continue to check inflation. At the first CBN MPC meeting for 2024, the CBN Governor, Yemi Kadosa, said after weighing macroeconomic conditions within and outside the country, it becomes critical to increase the rate. The committee also increased cash reserve ratio from 22.5% to 45%, asymmetric corridor at +100 and -700, while liquidity ratio at 30%. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, is advocating a synergy among the various arms of government for an efficient and effective justice delivery system. Justice Ariwola made the advocacy in Abuja at the opening of the 2024 hybrid refresher course for judicial officers of the Superior Court in Nigeria. Judiciary correspondent Chukwu Nosu Nwabueze reports.
Converged here at the National Judicial Institute, Abuja, for the 2024 refresher course for judicial officers of the Superior Courts of Record are heads of courts of various jurisdictions across the country. They are here to brainstorm on ways of further enriching and strengthening of the nation's judicial system.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seated, please.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria and Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Institute, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, uses the occasion to make a case for harmonious relationship among the various arms of government for effective justice delivery, as well as charges the participants to uphold the rule of law in performing their functions as judicial officers.
The need for judicial officers not to compromise or be distracted from the pursuit of the rule of law and their administrative duties. Neither should we be engaged or be seen to be engaged in unethical conduct. I urge you all to remain focused and determined in carrying out your responsibilities as judicial officers.
It is my belief that the technical discussion that will take place in the course of this program will lead to the evaluation of ideas as well as the conclusions and the recommendations necessary for the overall growth and advancement of the judiciary.
The full-day course has reaffirming judicial commitments to justice delivery and modernizing judicial practices and procedures as its theme. Chukwu Nwabueze, NTA News.
Members of Judicial Workers Union of Nigeria, Ogun State chapter, have embarked on a 5-day warning strike over non-payment of peculiar allowance to them like their counterparts in other core ministries. Yemi Dalimo reports that business within and outside the courts were paralyzed across the country, across the states. Details will come your way in our subsequent bulletin. We'll be back shortly after the break. Stay tuned.
Yeah, why did you sweat like arm rubber?
My uncle no go bike. Uncle! Uncle, meet Andy. He has come to ask for my hand in marriage.
Good morning and good afternoon, sir. What about good night? Are you seeing a movie? What nonsense!
Son, you are in control.
No, sir. It's my parents in the village. I'm doing a video call since they can't be here.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ jẹ́ àǹfààní ọgọ́rùn-ún mẹ́fà owó ìpè ọ̀fẹ́ àti àfikún ìdá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rin ní gbogbo ìgbà tó o bá fowó sórí ẹ̀rọ ìpè rẹ pẹ̀lú àfikún tó tó ìdá ọgọ́rùn-ún lórí ètò dátà. Bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ ètò ìpè àti dátà tó nípọn lẹ̀ bí orí àjànàkú.
It is spaces and events. Yes, it is. Join us this Saturday, the 2nd of March 2024 by 7:30 p.m. on our program tagged Faces and Events on NTA Ijebu, channel 103 on StarTimes, and our social media platform on Facebook NTA Ijebu, also on YouTube NTA Ijebu, as we bring to your viewing pleasure the installation of a real estate developer, Alhaji Prince Dr. Abdulwahab Babatunde Oshinaya, Chairman, CEO Yawahab Investment and Construction Company Limited, as Magaji Adini of Ijebu Land, and the 75th birthday ceremony. Join us.
Nigerians have been charged to live a worthy of emulation and Christ-like wherever they find themselves. This submission was given by Pastor Olumuyiwa Okusheinde during the funeral service of the founder and general overseer of the Christ Redemption Evangelical Ministry, Pastor Olufunmilayo Adeyemi Odutola of the popular Odutola family in Ijebu. Anthony Gandono witnessed the funeral service held at the Christ Redemption Evangelical Ministry headquarters in Ijebu, and now reports.
The funeral service, according to Pastor Okusheide, was to celebrate a life well spent by the General Overseer and founder of Christ Redemption Evangelical Ministry, Pastor Olufunmilayo Adeyemi Odutola. The service was well attended by dignitaries from all walks of life, captain of industries, families, and General Overseer of different Christian denominations. Pastor Olumuyiwa Okusheide, who centered his sermon on echo from the living, said, "The deceased live Christ-like life. The cleric therefore charged the congregation to live a life that is worthy of emulation and also not relent in spreading the gospel." A Christian wake had earlier been held at the residence of the deceased, where family members, friends, and representatives of Christian Association of Nigeria, among others, showered encomiums on the deceased.
I think one of the most important things that he did in his walk with Christ was to embody that work in his family.
If you had no relationship with Daddy, I don't know how you feel, but you missed a whole lot. It shaped my life. My name is Engineer Henry Ehimatia. To God be the glory. I'm from Delta State.
About 20, but I think about 8 of them now, because people have mentioned them, but just a few, and you mentioned now. It was so jovial that when I was boiling from my home to tell him something, welcome Ìyàwó Ìjẹ̀bú. Maybe they brought the trailer load of yam. You have come to appreciate us. We Ìjẹ̀bú, we are so kind. Everything will go down.
The body of Pastor Olufunmilayo Adeyemi Odutola was later interred at the Orewon Cemetery in Ijebu, where dust to dust rites was performed.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Guests were thereafter entertained at Adeola Odutola Hall, where some guests, including relatives, spoke about the deceased.
My brother, we grew up together, so I know him when we were all young. And until that last day of his life, he was a good man, very strict. He abhors oppression and suppression. You cannot control him foolishly.
His generosity, his strength of character, his spiritual sense, his commitment to people, his commitment to God Almighty. I think, generally speaking, they said it was good.
Pastor Olufunlayo Adeyemi Obitola, an accomplished industrialist and general overseer of Christ's Redemption Evangelical Ministry, died at the age of 85 years and is survived by wife, children, and grandchildren. In Ijebu, Anthony Gandolu, NTA News.
That's all we have for you for tonight. But before we go, let's take a look at some of the major stories. President Bola Tinubu launches expatriate employment levy target, more employment. Nigerian Labour Congress defies security threat, stages peaceful protest nationwide. And that ends the news for tonight. I am Titilayo. Okay. Thanks for staying tuned with us. Good night.